Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Penner. I am a crafter here in Brandon, and I've been asked to do this workshop for the Wasagaman Community Arts, I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for asking me to do this. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I work full-time in Brandon. I actually work for the Brandon Fire Department as their public educator. And so I am a crafter and a maker on the side. I have been crafting forever, I think. I've always been making things, and I'm a card maker. So that has kind of spilled into a lot of other things with like paper products. Thus, my name is Pretty Paper Products. And you can find me on Facebook if you want to see some of the stuff that I do. And you know what? I actually kind of really got going about 3 years ago. We were doing some fundraising for a project in Uganda. I'm connected with a primary school there. We were fundraising for a project. And I thought, well, I can make cards, I can sell pretty things. And that's really when it all kind of kicked off for me again in a bit of a bigger way. So I've been doing that for the last 3 years. And actually the pandemic has actually kind of helped me, because I wanted to do a craft sale last year. Well, I did do one in the summer, and then another one got canceled. And then I was thinking I would do one in the fall, and then everything got canceled. So I thought, well, I'll just try and, make a few posts on Facebook and see how it goes. And it's actually gone really well. So we're going to make some Valentine treat holders, since Valentine's is right around the corner. So maybe we'll get started with that. Okay, so we're gonna make these Valentine treat holders. So I'll just move this paper for now. So they look like this. They've got like 2 little pouches. So what I've done is a tea bag fits perfectly in the one side. And then in the other side, I like to put a little chocolate in there. So this is just an Andes mince. They actually fit pretty good in there. But if you're giving it to someone and they're not a tea drinker, then you could just put 2 treats, one in each side, or whatever you think they might like. You could also put like a gift card in there. That would work too. So without the treats, it just looks like this. So first of all, there's a list of supplies that you need, and there's also a list of steps on how to make it. And these are going to be included on the website. So you could print those off or like have a look ahead so that you know what you need and then you know what we're going to be doing. We actually don't need a lot of stuff to make this because it's not a huge project and it's very easy to make. There's all kinds of tools that you can have and use when you're making paper art. So with our list of supplies, you need a 6 by 6 inch square piece of paper. It should be 2-sided because you can see how when it's folded up, you can see the inside. So you do want a 2-sided piece. If you don't have it, it's okay. It's just then your inside is just going to be blank. So it's kind of pretty when it's 2-sided. So we've got these here, and I think I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to make mine so that it's opposite of this. So I'm going to try to put what's inside. I'm going to just switch it and put it on the outside. So you can use, if you have like a scoring board, you can use that to make your folds, but we're going to go without one. So, okay, first of all, we're going to fold this 6 by 6 piece in half to make a triangle. And just match up your corners as best you can. This is when you see whether you've cut it straight or not, as if your corners match up. And then you're just going to open that up again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another fold 1/2 inch on each side of this center fold. So just with your ruler and a pencil, I'm just going to put my 1 along the fold, and then I'm just going to mark 1/2 inch, and this is going to be my wrong side. It's going to be inside. So I'm going to make my little tick marks on this side so that you won't see it later. I'm just going to go 1/2 inch on this side of the crease and then 1/2 inch on the other side. And I'm going to do it kind of at both ends. And so now I'm going to use those. I'm going to put my ruler against it. You can see I've got Sparky the fire dog ruler from work. Okay, so when you line up your little tick marks along the side of your ruler, now you've got a straight edge. So just bend that up, and then that's going to be your fold line. And then take your ruler away and then just press it flat. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you've got the fold that you just did. You've got your center fold. And then we're going to bend up this other one that's 1/2 inch on the other side of that center fold. So just bring it up and then just crease it with your fingers along the ruler to give you that straight edge. And then fold it over and press it flat. Because you want to have flat, smooth creases because it'll just help you later to fold it up. So now we've got 3 creases there. Maybe you can see it a little bit better on this side. You've got those 2 and then you've got your middle one. Okay, so now we're gonna put your center crease so it's like parallel to you, because now we have to make 2 creases this way so that we can fold it up. And for that, we are going to measure 2 3/4 inches from this left point. And then we're going to make a little tick mark. So 2 3/4 is there. And then we're going to mark again on the other side. So go 2 3/4 from the right point. You're on your middle fold line here. Make another mark there so you can see that. And then we'll do the same thing with the ruler. We'll put the ruler here. We want to kind of just put your finger where your little tick mark is in the middle, because we're not sure if I have this totally straight, right? So I know that this is where I want my fold to be. And so now I'm going to take this left point and I want it to come onto my middle fold line. That's where I'm going to know that it's going to be, I was going to say square, but I think that's right. Fold that over and then bring that one up. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just put your ruler against your tick mark. You're going to make a little bend there just in the middle so you know where you want to fold it. And then you're going to bring this right middle point onto your center crease line and then fold it down. Now all your folds are in there. So just leave your 2 flaps folded over because now we're actually ready to fold it up. So you can see your top fold is right here. So you're just going to fold this back so that your first little pouch is made. And then if you flip it over, now you've got your middle crease is in here. So if you just crease it up, so now your 2 little pouches are facing away from each other. And then you've got another crease. Your fold is here on the top now. So you're just going to fold this one back. And then your 2 points at the top are going to perfectly meet like that. And then we're almost there. So I'll just show you that again, because now you can see where these folds are. So when you've made it, you leave your little folds, you're tucking in your pouches, and then you've got your centerpiece just kind of comes together like that. Fold both of these little pouches up, and then it goes like that. So you actually don't need glue or adhesive or anything right now because it's folded, it's going to stay like that. So now we might as well do the little ribbon that goes on top. So what I've done is I've just used like a regular office type hole punch. And then you're just gonna punch a hole kind of up here in the top, in the center, like that. And then we're gonna put our little ribbon in. So I cut my pieces already on the supply list. This one, it said, is about 7 inches long. And then this one I think was like 3.5 or so. But whatever you have will be totally good. You kind of want to get colors that are going to match, and it's for Valentine's, so I totally went traditional and went red and white. And so we're not even going to tie this one. We're just going to put it so that your 2 edges are kind of even. And then with your coordinating color, I took some pretty sparkly silver. We're just going to tie this around. If you have an extra long piece of ribbon for this accent piece, you can, if you want to tie a bow, you can do that. Just trying to get my pretty sides to be on the outside. So now it's just kind of knotted. So then if you just pull it down a little bit towards the point, it's going to stand up a little bit better. Otherwise, it's going to kind of flop over to the side. But there, now you've got your pretty bow on there. You've got your ribbon on there. got sparklies all over. So then next we're going to do our little sentiments on each side. So for this, I used punches, and I have these done just so that you can see. So this is where you need like your scraps. So I have like a piece of white and a piece of red, because I'm going to put the solid color behind just so it stands out nicer. But if you don't have punches, you can totally just use a scissor and just measure a couple pieces that would then fit. See where this kind of little V is? We want to cover that because you want your tea bag and your chocolate to stay in better. So I like to stamp it first, because then that way when you punch it out, you can get it better. Rather than having this little circle and then trying to get this right in the middle, it's easier to stamp it and then punch it out, because then underneath here, you can center it. And then it's easy as that, and you've got your perfect little thing there. And then we need another one for the other side, because we've got one on each side. So for this one, even though my stamp is longer, I'm just going to want like the love part. So I'm just going to stamp this on here. And then I'm going to use this size of punch. So this punch is a 1 3/4 by 7/8 oval, but if you are just going to cut out some pieces, then do about 1 3/4 inch by about 3/4, or about an inch, 1 3/4 by an inch. And then for your piece that goes behind, just make it a 1/4 inch bigger. And then you've got an 1/8 of an inch nice edging around. I'm just going to leave my ink, because what I usually like to do, just with a little piece of sponge, this is just kind of, you can see how I've just edged it with ink. It just takes kind of that stark white edge away, just softens it up a little bit. And then I'm going to, I just have an oval with some a scalloped edge. It's just a smidge bigger than this one, so they layer up perfectly. So I'm just going to use some scraps here. Okay, so now I'm ready to put my little sentiments onto my backing. And here is where, if you just have regular school glue, this will totally work. Just don't use too much, because the more you use, the longer it takes to dry. If you have like an adhesive runner, that'll work too. Or just from the dollar store, these work really well. Just this double-sided tape. Sometimes the adhesive runner, I find they don't stick all that great. So my dollar store fix has worked perfectly. It's nice and sticky. It's not going to go anywhere. And that's what you want, right? You don't want to give someone a little gift and then go, oh, sorry, the thing fell off. And then you just peel these backing, the other side of that double-sided tape, just peel that off. So now it's sticky. And then you're just going to center it and stick that down. You want to center it first, because once you've got it down, it's going to be hard to lift it up again. So just kind of eyeball it. There. If you don't have a stamp to put your little sentiment in there, like we've done on this one, you could easily, like just on, say on this guy, if we just cut out these XOs, and you don't have to have a paper cutter, you can just do it with your regular scissors. So let's see. And if you don't want the white, because now we've got, you've got options. I could cut out the kiss. Let's see if that one will work. You want that to be straight. So you could put that right on there like that, and then just put that over top. Like instead of having this where you've used a punch and a stamp, you can just use regular scissors. It's just as cute to put just that cut out and then just glue that on. Or if you want to layer it up, you could still use the white layer and then put the little X and O in the middle. And that also looks super cute on there. And if you want to use a ribbon, you can embellish it. There's lots of options. You don't have to have tools and stamps and ink and all of that. Just get creative and look around your house and see what you've got, and you can make it look really cute. So now we're going to put these onto here. You have to be careful where you're going to put your glue, because you only want it to be on these edges, right? Because you've got this V here. So you don't want to put your glue up here anywhere, because otherwise it's going to stick to the back and you won't be able to get your little tea bag or your treats in there. So we just want to put it on these edges here. So maybe a little bit smaller piece. So you still want it to stick, but you don't want it to stick it shut. And then again, you're just going to kind of eyeball it. Don't go too low because we want it to be centered. Okay. And then we'll do this side. And again, you can use the school glue, but just be careful with it. You might want to use enough, but you don't want to use too much. And then just kind of with the glue, you'll have to maybe hold it till it's a little bit stuck in place there. And you're done. So then you've got these cute little treat holders, and you could have this like at your place settings at dinner. So if you're having a special Valentine meal, then you could put one at each place setting. And then everybody would have a little after dinner chocolate. And if you want to have tea after dinner, then it's a nice little gift. So there you have it for your Valentine's Day craft.